Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Behind me right there is another flip vehicle which I'll be bringing to the channel. I just picked it up yesterday from a place called Mason-Dixon Auto Auction down right on the Mason-Dixon line between Pennsylvania and Maryland. It's on the Pennsylvania side, obviously. Not going to go into Maryland for a vehicle. It's still not really close to Williamsport. It was a 2.5 hour drive, almost 3 hours to get this thing. It was completely worth it. I got it for $2,600, which is about half of what it's worth KBB, and it doesn't need much for me to make it perfect and get it listed. So let me show you what it looks like, what it needs, and enjoy this video. So yeah, it's a 2008 Ford Escape. This is the first Ford I've ever owned. Sorry about the wind noise. It is kind of weird weather right now. Storms have been blowing through all day. But yeah, it's a nice Escape. It's rust-free, which is the main reason I bought it. Also, it runs and drives great. Typically up here in Williamsport, at least, this is all rotted out, and this is still full solid metal. And down here, it's a little crusty, but it's not Pennsylvania rust, and that is because it is from Virginia. That's the one reason I like this auction that I went to yesterday to get this. It gets a lot of southern cars, or at least cars that aren't as rusty and rotted out as they are up here in upstate Pennsylvania. Same thing around this side. Really not that bad rust-wise. It's just some surface corrosion underneath, like on the spare tire and exhaust. Spots you'd usually expect it. Paint definitely did see some sun though. That's one of the things with southern cars. Paint's pretty faded, but it'll all buff up and come back and shine really good. I love this black. It's gonna look great. Nice newer tires. Dakota 21 on those bad boys. It's got a key fob clicker. It works, which is nice. Interior is how they typically are on these Escapes. Got some stuff for it already. The seats are always stained on it. It has a interesting smell that most of these Escapes have. Part of that is, I think, because water was leaking into this floor mat, which I might have fixed. This whole panel right here when I first got it was off, and the weather stripping wasn't there right. So I think when it rained this morning, some water got in, and water had been getting in while it was sitting at the auction. I fixed that up though. I'm going to dry it up right now and check back if it rains. It's supposed to rain here again in a little bit, as you can see over there. So we'll see if it leaks a little bit more in. Back's not as bad. All this carpet should be able to be extracted. The seats will definitely be extracted. I've detailed so many of these Escapes through working with dealerships and all that. They always clean up. They're always pretty annoying to clean, but they do clean up. It's four-wheel drive, which is nice. Has some options like a sunroof, all the nice options, but it's got the 4-cylinder, better engine, less stuff to break. Back's pretty clean, and it also gets about 25 miles per gallon, which is awesome. Drove this thing almost 3 hours back, 200 miles, and it did great. It drives beautifully. Transmission shifts great, engine runs great, no check engine lights, no lights on whatsoever. Newer suspension parts, new struts in the back. Brakes feel great, and the tires obviously, so it rides great, which is why I was perfectly fine spending $26 on it. Obviously the door had some body work done. I'm gonna touch this up, get some black paint on that so it doesn't rust. I'm not gonna really mess with it though. Cosmetically it's pretty good. It's decent. Yeah, back like I showed before, it looks pretty good in the back. This I'm going to either try to find new little pieces. They're just trim pieces. You can unscrew them and they pop off. I'll try to find new ones in the junkyard or repaint these. Once again, Virginia, the sun's a bit hotter down there compared to Pennsylvania. Stuff like that peels off. You know, driver's side, it needs a good cleaning, but the seat's good. It's not ripped. It's a little like worn down there with the foam, but it's not ripped. Steering wheel, typical wear for an Escape, but it's not bad. It's not like super worn out. All stuff that can be detailed, fixed, and made to look better. Needs a couple trim pieces. This is all stuff I can find in the junkyard. AC and heat works great. Cruise control even works. Used that on the ride home yesterday. It's got 2 keys as well, which is nice. But I'll fire it up here. fires right up. And if I clear, saying oil change required, please close door. Wow, I can't even see that until I close the door, but there we go. Yeah, 25.2 miles per gallon, 168,000 miles on the clock, but it still is worth a good bit of money. It needs a blower motor resistor. If I turn it on here, only the 4th speed works, but that's all right. That's what we got here in this bag. I just picked it up. 30 bucks at AutoZone gets us a new one. I'm gonna put that in right now. I'll show you how to do it. It's really easy. You just pop the glove box out and it's 2 8mm bolts behind there. Other problem on the interior that really has to get addressed soon, no radio functions whatsoever, which is typical. These Ford radios are garbage. They're always breaking. Needs a new sun visor. I'm gonna get a new one here. I don't know what happened, but it like got crunched up there, so it doesn't close all the way now. This I can easily glue back up with a little bit of falling headliner. Not worried about that at all. And yeah, after a detail, this thing's gonna be looking great. So yeah, I also got for this a little paint pen so I can touch up some of the nicks and spots, and that big spot. It's not gonna look great, but it'll look better than exposed metal. Automatic headlights, it's got a lot of nice features. Like I said, the sunroof is awesome. I used that yesterday when I was riding home. Works great. All the windows work. Everything works well. So it's a great car, and overall it's not going to take much to really bring it back and get it listed, which is what I wanted. I went there yesterday at that auction to get a quick flip, which is exactly what this is going to be. And yeah, should be a great car for someone when I'm all done with it. So let's get to work getting this back to its earlier stage of glory. Alright, so getting started right away here, we're going to start with this blower motor resistor, which you need to gain access to back here. Let me see if I can show you. The blower motor resistor is that thing right there, that plug. Just sits on top right there of the HVAC box. But to get to it, you gotta pop this glove box down. To do that, you just squeeze these sides and these rubber plugs move and it drops down. Very easy. Now, you need an 8mm to get up to 2 bolts up in there. You can see that one shiny one right there, another one over there, and you gotta pop the plug out, which I'd use a pick. It's a pretty tricky thing. And then I'll show you the difference between the new one and the old one. They just burn out. They're electronics, they burn over time. There we go. You can definitely tell this old one burned out. It's actually starting to rust right there, which is not supposed to happen. Yeah, it's just not in good shape. The new one actually isn't painted, which is a little weird, but it's a brand new part from Duralast. Has a nice gasket on it. That's the other thing, this thing, the gasket's all worn. So water probably got in there at one point, or something got in there, moisture. But yep, let's pop this new one in quickly because the rain's about to hit, and hopefully all of our fan speeds work. Alright, and just like that, we have all of our fan speeds. And not just 4, which is much more of a good thing to have, much more of a convenience to when you're driving. It's not really fun just to only have full AC or no AC. So this will definitely make the car nicer for whoever buys it next. Alright, if you look down here, you can tell it's detailing day. In the matter of about 2 days, I got everything figured out that was wrong with it. You guys saw the blower motor resistor, the installation of that. We went to the junkyard, got these. You remember the old ones were peeling, so popped the old ones off, put new trim pieces on. Did the touch up on that little spot right there, that blemish. Got some WeatherTechs for it at the junkyard. Always a good score. They don't fit perfectly, but they are for a Ford Escape. But yeah, so nice little thing to add in for the next buyer. And today we deal with these stains. We get this interior looking brand new. We buff up the paint, get that looking brand new. The other thing we figured out was this radio. Also, we got trim pieces like that's back in. We got that trim piece there for the shifter, but we got radio now, which is good. New visor for here. I got all the hanging headliner to stay back up, and it's doing all right. A couple spots that could be up there a bit better, but it's not as noticeable. It's not dangling down the view of the driver now. Got a fresh oil change, so with some synthetic oil, so it's good for 10,000 miles now, synthetic oil and filter. I didn't even know you could do that with these motors, but you can. They recommend it, actually, Ford. So yeah, we've got everything done to this that pretty much needs to be done. Mechanically it's sound. I've driven it a lot, made sure it's ready. Alright, before we start anything on this car, we gotta just start with the engine bay here with detailing. Disconnected the negative battery terminal. That's one thing you gotta be really careful with here is electrical connections in the water. Ford electrical connections are pretty junk, and that box right there you really need to watch out for, the ECM. So you can see it's supposed to have this gasket, but it's failing, so you really got to make sure water doesn't get in there too badly. Don't be too hard with the pressure washer, but there's still ways we can get this looking clean while being careful, and you're gonna see the outcome now. And bam, look at that difference. Looks like a much more well taken care of vehicle now. It's not all dusty and oily under here. Looks a lot better, and everything's got a nice black deep shine from 303 Aerospace. So yeah, with this part done, let's get to the exterior, give it a good wash, and then we'll tackle the rest of the interior today, and hopefully tomorrow we can buff all the paint and then finish dressing up and getting it ready for photos. Alright, you can see the Escape is inside now. It's been completely washed, wheels were cleaned up, got them shining a bit more. As you can see, this paint is really going to need a buff. Very hazed up, especially on the roof. I'm hoping this isn't too far gone. It's pretty bad, but it should buff. Same with the rest of the roof. And it should look pretty good when buffed up. This black is always a great color to sell. The front end, no more bug guts everywhere. These headlights too, they'll buff up as well. All these like weather bug deflector and rain deflectors should work out and clean up pretty well too. And then we got the sunroof, which is nice. Then coming around to the inside, I'm going to pull both these seats out because obviously they're heavily stained. The floors aren't terrible, they'll definitely need extracting. The steering wheel could use a good cleaning. Dashboard's not too bad, you know, it's not really too dusty or anything, which is nice. This, I gotta take off these stickers in here and clean all that up. And then down here, it needs some desperate help. There's goo in the cup holders. I pulled all the plastic and rubber trim out, as well as the floor mats. We're gonna pressure wash them here in a second. In the back, these seats definitely need some treatment as well as the floors. So let's get to it. Hopefully we can get this all finished up today, get the seats out, extracted, let them sit out overnight so they can dry, and then leave the ozone in it overnight or tomorrow, and then get to buffing and putting the seats back in and finishing up tomorrow. This is our setup for the mats out here. We're just going to pressure wash them, scrub them, get them really thoroughly clean because they're WeatherTech and they hold onto dirt pretty easily. And we have all the plastics from inside. So we'll get these finished up and show you the before and after. So you can see just how much more space there is when these seats are out and how much dirt gets trapped behind them. Plus, really the best way to clean them is to have them out like this. Driver's side was just 4 15mm bolts. Passenger side has to be complicated though, because Ford, and it's a Torx bolt. So, and there's 15s on the back still. It's just the fronts, like they just had to change 2 bolts. And you can see the difference over here with the mats as they're drying out here. Much better, much less dirt and grime. They're just still a little worn in some spots from age, but they'll be a nice addition to the car for sure. Alright, here we go. We have the seats out, both of them out, and we can see what we have up ahead of us. We have a lot of stains to get out if we want to make this thing look brand new again. So the extractor's getting put to work a lot today. Here's the seats. Here's what they look like now. Let's get them extracted. Have this whole thing looking much better. Alright, the driver's and passenger seats are the first to get extracted here. You can see much better. No giant red stains or black stains or just grease stains. they look a lot better. I gotta hit that bolster one more time. Still a little bit there, but other than that, look at that. Those are gonna look great. Back seats came out just as good. Very happy with it. Now, just gotta tackle these carpets and finish cleaning up all the plastics and all that. Alright, just finished up now for the night. Look at these rear seats, the carpet. Look at that, so much better. Couple really stuck on stains, like the rust stains from the seat tracks that didn't come out. Show you the trunk here. You can kind of see, I put the WeatherTech mats back there. I'm gonna put the dealer paper down for to protect the carpets from people doing test drives. This side too, I cleaned all the doors, all the plastics got cleaned up. You can see the center console now. A million times better than before. The steering wheel got all cleaned up. Yeah, and this side looks so much better as well. You remember this carpet was really disgusting. Well, now it looks very nice. Dashboard's all clean. Yeah, like I said, that center console. So yeah, this thing's pretty much all done on the interior. Tomorrow morning I just have to put the seats back in and I can get to waxing this paint and getting it listed. Alright, so we're working on the buffing process now, and you can see how nice and deep black this paint is becoming. Not as many swirls, nice deep gloss shine. Even the roof, I was able to bring that back. You remember how dull that was. And we're just going around doing the whole car. Haven't done this door yet. You can kind of see the difference here versus here. A lot more of a deeper metallic look to it. Gonna work on the roof now, get the other side done, finish up this side, and yeah, get this thing ready, get some pictures. Look how nicely this tailgate shined up. You remember this was all dull before. It looked like water had just eaten away at the paint. Rear bumper's looking great. Just much better. Makes it look 1,000 times newer and less run down. Alright, here she is. Final view here with the detailing done. It's looking great. Look how shiny that paint is on that hood and the roof. The rear here. Got the tires all shined up. Got the plastics looking new again. You guys saw underneath the hood, the engine. Great on this side as well. The rear's looking great. Look at that. Much better. And the scents are all gone. I ozoned it last night. Doesn't smell weird anymore. The carpets are all extracted. The doors are clean. Look at that. Carpets look amazing. The seats look great. The center console. That side over there looks just as good. The steering wheel. Yeah, everything on this car looks great. And I just got the pictures of it. I'm gonna list it up probably tomorrow or sometime soon. I actually have to head back to Elverson, to my parents' place. So I'm not going to be able to even show this for the rest of the week, but next weekend I'd be able to, and next week. So I'll list it now, get it ready for that. Hopefully get some people by the time I get back up here to show it to. And yeah, hopefully it's a good quick sale. It's a great car, it runs and drives great, and now it looks really good. It should make a perfect first car for someone, backup car, just a great car. And there's a good market for these Escapes up here in Williamsport, so hopefully I can get it moved quick. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed watching me grab this Escape from auction, bring it all the way up from Virginia, detail it, get it ready, fix a couple things, and sell it, make sure to leave a like, subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.